Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, I am. Because it's about the journey, being in the present. When you learn to be in the present, you can really see how beautiful it all is, and it fulfills your needs. Well, welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind, and of course, your daily microdose. Now tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today we're going to talk about, it's not about the destination. Stop being focused on the destination. It is about the journey, not the outcome. Why, Ashley? Why is it about the journey and not the outcome? First of all, the journey is 99.9% of it all. The outcome is the 0.01%. And if we wait our entire life focused on the outcome for our happiness, our peace, our sense of fulfillment, then we will spend 99.9% of our life, or 99.9, whatever, a large portion of our life chasing the carrot, chasing the outcome. That's just one reason. There are many reasons. So another reason is we don't know what's best for ourselves. Our highest self does. And when we focus on the outcome, we are so laser focused that we miss the beauty around us. We miss the other opportunities at hand. And we don't trust. We don't trust at all. Example, one of the biggest, I think, outcomes we plan for, we focus for, is retirement. I think it's getting less and less as the transition to entrepreneurship and just the new generation coming up. But I know I was ingrained in me that you need to have a good retirement plan. You need to start saving for retirement before you were born. And then you can have millions of dollars, and then you can retire, and millions of dollars by the time you retire is nothing, and you're dirt poor anyway. But that's a different story. Anyway, so the outcome is retirement. So people have this vision of, when I am retired, I will enjoy life. I will do all of the things I've always wanted to do. But the problem is, the reality, retirement is a very small portion of your life if you ever get to go there. And a lot of times, by that time, the people's bodies are already failing. They're not in a mental state to do the travels and all these different things they wanted to do. And in the process, they did not enjoy the journey. It is about the journey, not the outcome. Remind yourself that over and over and over again, because it is the journey that gets us to the outcome. And if we don't enjoy in the journey, then we are constantly in the ego belief system. Because if you've learned anything from my videos, you have learned placing weight on any sort of outcome or something outside of you is sitting in the ego belief system. So the Holy Spirit's belief system, or your highest self, is all about this present moment. So if it's about the present moment, if the outcome is not happening this second, then it is not in alignment with love. That is fear. When you are focused on the outcome, you are fearful. You create fear because you have a specific outcome you are seeking, and if anything else but it happens, you get scared, and you are scared of it happening. So you are robbed from the present moment every single second when you are focused on the outcome. Now you're saying, well, Ashley, that's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It is very hard to get yourself to that place. And an example of that is sailing. So when Patrick first started teaching me how to sail, I'm very much a girl that is like efficient. If we're going to do something, we're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done quick. And this was in the process of me really working through untying my ego. I was in the process of moving from the new age, I'm a little magician in my own God, into understanding that no, there is God out there. And in fact, I'm one with him, and this is a dream, and all the videos we've talked about. And we were sailing, and it was a sailboat that did not have a motor, and we wanted to get to the dock. And I could see the dock straight ahead. Like if I were to jump in the water and swim to the dock, I'd be there in a matter of minutes. But the reality is, in a sailboat, you have to go with the wind. And if the wind is not going that direction, you have to tack and go sideways and tack again and then go sideways that way and then tack again and go sideways that way, in turn taking 20 to 30 minutes to get to that destination I could have swam to in a couple of minutes. It was so hard to not get frustrated, to not be like, why can't we get there? Why can't we get there? But I had to learn to surrender because it was not about the destination or the outcome, which was getting to the dock. It was about the journey. And it took me a few times of us going out and sailing to fully sit in a place of surrender and actually fully be able to enjoy the journey when the dock was within vision. I'm not kidding you. The frustration that would come up within, the irritation, the anxiety that I would bring up, because the other piece too, when you're tacking back and forth, you're not just pulling straight into the dock. You have to like do these whip arounds, and I've got to grab the dock just in time. So all these fears had time to come up in the process of my irritation and anxiety. And what I really realized, it was a representation of exactly what I was learning inside of myself. I was learning in those moments of also learning to sail, I was really learning to untie from the outcome and really step into the enjoyment of the journey. And sailing is so beautiful now. And a lot of times I tell people, hey, we plan to sail the world. And their response is, oh, I like to go on sailboats when someone else is sailing it. And I'm like, well, why? Sailing is so much work. It's a pain in the ass. That is someone who is focused on the outcome, focused on the destination and not the journey. Because, yes, sailing is work, but it is a journey. Every single second is something different. The boat breaks all the time, right? So it's always a new journey. And it's just, when you really focus on that journey piece is when you truly start to see the beauty, and when you truly start to understand what living in the present actually is. Okay, another question I often get. So my friend, she likes to say that I'm now living in an alien world and don't understand the illusion, but I think it's the opposite. I truly understand the illusion and understand truth. But one of the things she said to me one day is, okay, so if you're so laser focused in the present moment, Ashley, it's all about the journey. Do you just not have goals or plans in life anymore? Because it just is, and that's what you say. And I chuckled, and I almost had to think about it. I was like, oh, that's a really good question. I can see how that's what the interpretation would be. And no, the reality is we live in this illusion. I live in this illusion. So of course I have goals. Of course I have things I want to do. The difference is I no longer place weight on them. So earlier I said Patrick and I plan to sail the world. We do. That is a goal of ours. But I literally was having this own conversation in my own head the other day when I was getting ready, and I was like, Ashley, what if this was every day for the rest of your life? Meaning, you know, we live in Tampa where I really have never wanted to live, and you aren't sailing. You only go to the beach once a week. Are you okay with that? And I was like, yeah, I am. Because it's about the journey, being in the present. When you learn to be in the present, you can really see how beautiful it all is, and it fulfills your needs. Like even earlier today, I was telling Patrick, like, I'm getting bored with life, like I'm getting uneasy, I'm feeling a little depressed. And then I kind of laid there and I took a little nap and I thought about it before I started to record these videos, and I realized this past week I've been watching Mr. Beast videos on YouTube. And I've been getting sucked back into the past and the future and focusing outside of myself and gaining my entertainment and happiness and peace outside of myself. And it wasn't doing it intentionally, right? It was unintentionally occurred that all of a sudden I'm no longer in the present and I'm getting bored. Getting bored because I have stepped out of the present. When you're in the present moment, you are never bored. Just like a child is truly never bored until we indoctrinate them into living in the past and in the future and focusing on the outcome. That's why they can literally, when they're small, do the same thing a million times over with just as much excitement every time, because they don't get bored because they're so laser in the present. Again, it is all about the journey, friends. In this path of untying the ego, I know it's easy to focus on, I want to be to the place where the ego's untied and all this stuff, but I get there too. But the reality is it's the journey. It's the beauty within the journey. And as long as you pay attention to the present moment, you will see the miracles that are happening every single second that you have not been paying attention to because you've been so focused on the outcome instead of focusing on the journey. Remember the sailing analogy. Anytime you find yourself getting bored or frustrated or irritated or seeking something new outside of you because, again, I didn't have my peace and happiness within. Obviously, I found out today. That's why I've been bored and feeling uneasy. So it's time for me to get focused back, get back into the present moment, detach from the YouTube channel of Mr. Beast for sure, and refocus myself on what matters most. And that is the journey. The journey, the journey, the journey, the journey. Trust the process and enjoy the journey. That is living in the present moment, and that is living in love. Living in love. As always, thank you so much. And remember, you are worth it. So grateful for you. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.